Hi, Mary Lou. So this is chapter 5.
As you break apart this course material, what new ideas did you and your reflective friend gain from the material and from each other about children's social and emotional development? When looking at the material and challenging behaviors children sometimes exhibit, what will be the key things? Challenging behaviors children sometimes exhibit, what will be the key things that an educator will need to focus on in order to build a strong and genuine relationship with that child?
So when I hear strong and genuine, I think Wagger.
Yep.
That's the first thing that comes to mind.
That's the
Wagger.
first thing ever.
Yeah.
Warmth, acceptance, respect, empathy, and
Genuineness.
genuineness.
Everyone should
It's
think
so
Wagger when they hear that.
important.
It is everywhere.
It's the foundation of the social pyramid, I think. For me, anyways, that's the first thing I think of when building relationships with children is Wagger.
I feel like it's the foundation of this course in general.
Yeah.
Is
I think
Wagger.
that if you don't have that, then how could you possibly
can't
be
be
a good
ECE.
ECE? I mean, like,
No.
might be a mediocre ECE, but
Yeah.
like
You
you won't actually like validate what those children are saying to you
Mhm.
and their learning and how they're learning and the development of it.
Yeah, you won't show them that you are genuinely interested in them as individuals. You will come off like you're
kind of
just there for a paycheck.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
exactly the
And
vibe you will give.
That's the
Yeah.
thing with a lot of teachers in elementary schools and high schools is that they're just there for a paycheck and to
Yeah.
have their summers off. They don't really care that much about the child and how they're actually doing. It's just, I want my summers off, I want my Christmases off,
And
and
you
I
know
want a
what?
massive paycheck.
A lot of those people who actually become teachers, they don't actually get the child development pieces that we get as ECEs. They would have to go for ECE and then go for their teaching. Most people don't want to do that; they go straight to teaching. Where some of us who are going into teaching, we have the luxury and the being blessed and taking this ECE first, so we truly understand child development as a whole, not just here's a piece and here's a piece.
When you start combining powerful interactions with Wagger, the bond that you get with the children,
a lot
it's
stronger.
going to be so strong. Because the seven strategies of interactions are: keep learning about the children, listen to the children, personalize your interactions with children, respect the children, guide their behavior, and keep growing your trust. So when you add all of those elements into Wagger, you're really setting yourself up for success with children. And children are just going to want to circle around you and just start talking your ear off.
Yeah.
Like what Raina does with Kara. She goes up to Kara and she hugs her and she talks to her. Why? Because she's always doing her hair. She's learned that Raina loves her hair being played with and braided. She's listening to Raina when she's doing her hair, and she's personalizing that interaction just specifically for her because she knows that's something that she enjoys, right? She's not doing that with Timmy or something, right?
Yeah.
That's Raina. So I think that's something that us as ECEs we should really always keep in mind.
At my placement, we had this one child who was like really into dinosaurs and was always just going around being a dinosaur everywhere. So we, after talking to him about how we keep our voice down in the classroom, that it's okay to be a dinosaur outside, not inside, because of some people's sensory issues.
Yeah.
We found a way to personalize being a dinosaur with just him and just acting out and getting more dinosaur toys around for him outside and being just in the moment with him, listening to him and how just allowing him to talk about being a dinosaur and what's his favorite dinosaur, and then bringing in pictures of him for dinosaurs. And it was just he started being more open with everyone and just
Because he felt important, he felt valued. Right?
he was like, I don't know how to say this rather than the troubled child, always getting like pushing people, hitting, having his emotional outbursts in the classroom until like we realized that him being a dinosaur was his way of trying to get us to be like, this is what I really want, this is what I really like, and I want to talk to you guys about it. I want to express how much I like dinosaurs with you. So once we finally got that, he started to like become more calm and relaxed in the classroom and more gentle with the other children and everything. It was a lot better.
Yeah, he's getting to express himself and express something that's important to him, and you guys were taking an interest. So that goes to the trio of self about what can I influence and how. So what can he influence in his environment and how? So he wanted to learn more about dinosaurs. So his way of influencing that was by roaring and being loud and being a dinosaur, right? So if you offered something like a literacy-rich environment that was just about dinosaurs and a whole bunch of different stuff, and that helped, right?
A lot of the educators brought in books about dinosaurs, and then a few of the children brought in their dinosaurs from their home, and then they started acting like dinosaurs with him.
That's so sweet.
But then we had to try to remind them that outside play and in indoor voices.
I know, like this week, it started last week actually, and we've kept it up all week. So the kids took this wooden play car that we have, and they took all this stuff from throughout the room, and they made a Zamboni. I know it is not winter time, but they made this Zamboni, and so they put these colored things on the front, and the colored things were to represent the different lights. And then they put 2 chairs on the back, and that was the back piece of the Zamboni. So, and then they had a market, and they were driving the Zamboni to the market. So, you know, we as educators, we always stand back and we let their dramatic play evolve the way it should without any teacher interactions. But I was prompted this week to get involved, which normally never happens. Like, it's very rare that us educators will get involved, but they involved us. So this time I took it a little bit further and I stayed involved. And it gave them, it validated what they were doing. So instead of giving me like a bigger part, they're like, you're a polar bear. Okay, I'm a polar bear. I gotta act like a polar bear. I'm not just gonna be the crappiest polar bear you ever seen. I was a polar bear. So I got up on all fours and I was thumping around the class and making roaring noises. And that helped to validate what they were doing and how they were being in charge of the play. This is what you're gonna do. And I almost felt guilty about it afterwards. I kind of said to my boss, I said, I felt guilty being involved in the play. I don't like doing that. Their play should evolve naturally without adults. But it took me a minute to realize their play was evolving naturally, and I was just a pawn in their play.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with educators being involved in the children's play as long as it's their idea and you're not putting not putting your ideas in their play and trying to direct it. You're letting them direct you into their play.
And I think like a few of them even said afterwards, Tish, it was really nice that you played with us. They actually felt good that we played with them. And like, you know, like it was
you have to be equal in the play, right? Not just take over it. So you were being an equal partner in that play, and that's what you were. You were validating what their play was. You weren't saying, oh, they're just playing, they're just being silly, that's just children, right? You actually knew, no, like, they are actually learning through this. If it's becoming like a social game, they're learning through their interactions, and they're imitating their world. Like, a polar bear is an actual thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that they've probably seen at a zoo or something, and their game was just, they were playing out their world and their environment and their lives, and that makes them feel like they're valuable, they're capable, and that they have influence in their environment. It's making them aware of themselves and showing their worth. So you get a really good thing.
And like being warm and genuine about it too. I wasn't just like, okay, I'm gonna be a polar bear. No, I was actually like, I'm hungry for meat.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you as an educator should take it an extra step forward and like try to think of other ways to incorporate Zambonis and polar bears into other plays and other aspects of their learning. So
a bit of a weird dynamic of all three things: a market, polar bear, and a Zamboni.
No, not at all.
Go back,
polar bears. Get it?
Go back to child development and create a book.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Write your own book.
So from the pitfalls, something that I have an issue with, as we were saying in the other one, I think this is one that we all have issues with, is coercing children into talking.
Yeah.
Right? Like I said before, I want to know about Raina's day. I want to know exactly what it is that's going on.
Especially
And I
their
want to guide
emotions,
that
though.
conversation. Yeah, especially
Because
with
like
their
if they look upset, you want to know what's wrong. You want to be like, I'm here for you. I want to help you. Like, just
Yeah.
I want you to open up to me so I can try to help you.
Yeah.
Especially if there's something deeper going on to them being upset.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know what's really going on at their in home or their private life, if they don't open up to you, if they look upset or something.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
not all signs are physical. Some are emotional, and some you just look
You can't see.
sad.
Yeah. Sometimes you can't see what's going on inside of a child, so you just want to kind of like pull it out of them, and
Yeah.
you're like, okay, but sometimes it's more like pulling teeth than just a simple pull, right? So for me, I think a way that I could deal with that would be wagger. Right? Like, wagger. It's about
Well, that's
wagger.
The accusing children part too. Like, it's not to say I do it to their face, but like if like we have a few children, and they're sometimes, you know, they have like a lot of emotions, and their emotions are very complex, and they don't know how to deal with them. And some children are just used to having things their way, and you know, at a child care center, you can't have things your way. There's 10 other kids in the room that also need your assistance. So I have noticed that like some children, I'll use the word defiant. I'll be like, they were defiant. Okay, they weren't actually defiant. What was going on here? Why were they like this? Why did they have that reaction? Why didn't they listen to you in that moment? Also, too, I'm like, sounding all knowing, like, you must be sad or you must be upset when, like, you know, I dealt with this a couple weeks ago. A child went and hid. I haven't been there that long. Like, I've only been there in reality 10 weeks. So I know 10 weeks worth of this child. I didn't know that the reason why the child was hiding is because he was embarrassed because he wet his pants.
Oh, yeah.
Which, like, you know, and so here I am. I'm like, oh, are you sad? Are you okay? Like, no, he's not okay. Yes, he's sad. Like, I was basically, like, demeaning what he was trying to self-regulate by, like,
that
going.
also goes back into like introducing new words. Like we have to try to. Maybe he didn't know the word embarrassing. Maybe he didn't know exactly how he was feeling. And
Yeah.
We could have gone like, "Are you feeling embarrassed because of this happening?"
You have to look deeper into the behavior and not just on the surface level, right?
And we have to try to do it without sounding all-knowing and coercing the
Yeah.
children into talking to
And
us.
as adults, we've basically been taught to think surface level for so long, and to come to a place now where we're having to dig deeper than the surface. It's very hard because we're conditioned to be surface level thinkers.
Yeah, yeah. Especially in high school, that's what most teachers just want.
They just want the surface.
They want exactly what they ask, and that is it. They don't want any more information.
Yeah.
So after going from that for 4 years, and possibly even in elementary school, going straight into this, or waiting a few years and then going into this, it's hard to get out of that.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to be like, oh
You have
wow,
to
I
condition
need to.
yourself out of it.
Yeah.
And
It's like,
takes
so
a long time.
when you see that behavior, like the going and hiding, you should, like what Heather says, just pause. Not to do your first actual instinct, right? You just need to pause and take a moment and just think on that behavior and try and see what it is that has happened, and then kind of to yourself interpret and have a sense of wonder and what's going on. And then once you've like examined all possible avenues in like that 1 minute, then go to the child and be like, oh, are you feeling embarrassed because you blah blah blah, right? Then you've introduced a new word. You're doing also a reflective observation, and that child will better understand what that feeling in the pit of their stomach is the next time it happens. So I think those are all great little tidbits.
Well, thank you for watching our video.
Bye, Mary Lou.
Cut.